look at the cash stocks, Ultratech rose nearly 1% during the cash session, followed by Max, DRL. You have Coal India. These are some of the big ones which where we saw some kind of action. But at the same time, you had Kotak, which fell nearly 0.7%, and JSW, Mahindra, HUL, Asian Paints, and Apollo. These are some of the stocks where we saw some fall coming in the cash session there. So again, we're seeing some kind of uh, covering happening in the if I'm not wrong, in some of the banking stocks as we speak. But overall, it seems like that we are just going along the entire trajectory of drifting down in the market.
I think we're still trading in a range, Sajid. I'll look at it this way, that we've taken a lot of time for the index to consolidate, and frankly speaking, the index is not the true, so far it's not the true highlight of what's actually happening across within the market, because you look at the kind of sectors and stocks making a comeback every now and then. Look at the real estate pack, for example. That's a classic indication of the mood of the market today. Index, because of its own weightage and the logic behind, is acting into a bit of a range, but 24,300 I would still believe is a good pivot support.
Yeah, and while the HDFC Bank may have ended 0.3% lower, and maybe Kotak ending 0.4% higher. Sorry, ended 4.3% higher, and Kotak ending 0.4% higher. If you look at how it worked in the cash, it's nearly 0.7% fall for both Kotak Bank and HDFC Bank is now nearly 0.3%. So the kind of positioning that we had before 315, there has been some the shorts that came into the system in the second half, as a result of which we've seen the Nifty Bank closing absolutely flat. It's 6.7 points higher actually in that sense. So that's something which is coming in from the cash market there. But the F&O market is open at this point in time, and we're seeing good amount of put writing which is coming in, especially in some of the stocks. If I look at some of the most active stocks in today's F&O trade, you'll find BSE 3400 strike call. BSE call 3400 is the most active, followed by HAL's 5100 call for the August series. And in the put side, we're seeing BSE 3300 and 3200 strikes being more active. Reliance 1300 put is also very active. But today is the day of BSE and HAL. How are these two stocks look for you?
Yeah, I think BHL is something which is looking very attractive. BHL, I think, has not at 430 plus levels. I would believe it's a strong indication of a fresh breakout, and it's a fantastic chart when we look at this over the span of the last 6 months broadly, from a point when the stock was at 240 or 250 start of this calendar year, towards a point where the stock moved up towards 400 first. So there was this 140, 150 point rally for BHEL. And now the stock has gone through almost like a 2-3 months patch of a time-wise correction. So a classic comeback, a good retracement, a strong price consolidation, and now the stock seems to be getting ready for a breakout post this consolidation. So I think it's a matter of time. Maybe the stock may be a little bit more volatile over here, but if for someone who has a time frame of 6 months plus, then I think staying invested into BHEL is a good strategy. HAL, on the other hand, even though after this run up, it seems like there's some supply which is coming into the stock price at higher levels. 5100, 5150 mark is actually acting as a zone where the stock is taking a bit of a resistance, or there's a slightly higher supply. So I would sense that maybe the stock could come back towards minor corrections, say a couple of percentage points correction is what I would expect for HAL, but that could be a good buying opportunity.
Nitin Raja is still with us. Nitin, how do you look at BHEL and maybe from an exchange point of view, BSE?
Guys, we don't talk stocks.
Okay. But as a sector, capital goods and electrical sector, how do you look at it?
So we like the capital goods sector, and I've talked about it earlier in the show that we are very, very bullish on the whole sector, and that includes electrical goods as a part of it.
Nitin, curious to know how you're looking at the entire energy basket as a whole, and how exactly would you play it? Some of the power financiers have also corrected, for example. Is that a pocket which you would consider at this point in time?
We don't like these companies specifically, although the valuations are very cheap. But I think we haven't seen the kind of growth rates that one should be seeing, given how the sector is doing. So we would rather play it through broader financiers as such. And as energy as a basket, really tends to give you it's more of a tactical play that you play from time to time rather than as a long-term strategic play in your basket.
And what about QSR, Nitin? Some of these names have rallied, 25% over the last, in fact, a month to date. How do you look at that pocket? And are the earnings looking structurally that strong?
So QSR has seen a revival. We've seen the ordering velocity go up. We've also seen some amount of consolidation in the sector, which has also helped this sector and as such. And hence, after a prolonged period of virtual consolidation or no growth, we started seeing the sector come up to and rally in the recent time. Now, in our own view, in the short term, I think the valuations look very, very fair in terms of where they stand. But I think longer term, the sector should do very well.
And how would you place your bets? There's one very large player there, and then there are a few small ones. How should one play the theme?
We think that this is again a sector where the large player will have a disproportionate market share and should benefit, and will be the ones who will set the model for the sector, and one should be there.
Among the capital markets play, Nitin, exchanges, how are you looking at them? There's a big exchange listing coming up in next couple of months. Do you see, and BSE is now going to be a part of the Nifty 50 by the end of September. How do you looking at exchanges?
Well, exchanges are quasi-monopolistic businesses. If you see, once they have a significant market share in any particular segment, it's very difficult for a second exchange to come and disrupt that. And all the exchanges in India have, developed their, unique areas of stronghold and, maintain market share out there. Having said that, we think that what would also happen is, as you get more of them starting to trade, some of the premium valuation that you said would get sort of more dissipated as such. But structurally, I think they are great quasi plays on the capital market growth that we see.
Kunal, finally, after I think the Nifty is settling at below 24,300, 24,287.6. Do you see further fall from here?
Not really. I don't see a major crack, because the put call ratio, the market swings, the intensity of price correction is very, very shallow. I was actually looking at the global markets also, and it's not that there's some kind of a major turn back or a negative turn for the global markets. So I think on the back of this, my expectation is that we would just about try to consolidate. Over the last couple of days, our view has been that we are stuck into this 150 to 100 point range, plus minus 24, 350 for the index. And broadly, I think we will probably try and consolidate further for the next couple of days, unless you start to see some major cracks in the market internals. So far, the positive for the market is that you've not seen any major crack. For example, HDFC Bank, etc., we all been discussing, has been acting as a major drag for the index. But it's not that the stock price has cracked very hard, very sharply. It's just that it's just unable to lift off to any kind of a major recovery. But there are traces of markets showing signs that the sectors which have been underperforming, they are trying to make a comeback: real estate, defense, PSU banking names, IT, etc. Now, when you see that kind of a market mood, it tells you that we are not in a hurry to break any kind of a major support.
Motilal Oswal, the move today, 6%. Kunal, what's the view there?
Yeah, it's a very strong move because it's more the capital market themes. You look at Motilal Oswal. I was looking at Angel One, CAMS, BAC made a good comeback. MCX has come back towards a breakout, or at least a retest towards the previous highs of 2,700 levels. So there are many of the stocks. KFintech was the other name which I think was up 4.5–5% the last I had seen. So many of these stocks had done very well for themselves, and it looks like that maybe the capital market team tactically could start to be something which traders can try and bet upon.
Renewable energy, Nitin, is that something that you're actively tracking? We've seen a bit of a consolidation in the space, right? You feel that some leg up likely in FY27?
Well, I think renewable energy as a space, we would rather play it through some of the utility companies rather than through some of the equipment manufacturers, because, I think competitive advantage is more driven by, duty structures rather than, actual sort of economics.
Nitin, thank you very much for joining us today and giving that perspective. That was Nitin Raheja from Julius Baer. And let's. I think we are at the end of the cash session, where the F&O is also going to get and is going to close in next a minute or so. Nifty futures currently down 0.3%. We're seeing an open interest build up happening for the August series. There is a lot of hectic rollover also happening to the September series for the Nifty as you speak. Nifty Bank there, if you look at, it's absolutely flat. There's an unwind which is coming in at there for Nifty Bank. Some shorts getting covered there. But Nifty Bank August is at a premium of 327. Among the banking stocks, if you look at how they ended, it has basically HDFC, Kotak, ICICI and Axis seeing some long build up happening towards the end, and that's primarily because of the rollover that we are seeing to the September series there. But let's look at what's happening in the call and put writing. That's where things are really interesting. The second month, the next week's or the monthly expiry, 24,200 is seeing a good put action there. 24,300 call and 24,400 call strikes have been very active in through the day. Nifty finally closing, if you look at the distribution, closing below the 24,300 mark, but you still have that range of 24,000 to 24,500 for the options, which are basically talking about the Nifty, how Nifty is going to move. Also, let's look at gainers. Nifty futures gainers include Inox, 6% up. Future Motilal Oswal futures is up nearly 5.7%. Oberoi is up 5%. In addition to that, you have in the losers pack, Voltas is down, Vodafone Idea is down 3%. BSE is seeing some short build up in today's trade. In the open interest gainers, you have stocks like Voltas, where the open interest is up 27%. Oberoi Realty seeing a nearly 14% jump in open interest and long build up coming in. InfoEdge is seeing a long build up with nearly 9.6% open interest build up coming in. MCX is seeing a short covering. Motilal and Nalco are also seeing some shorts getting covered in today's trade. If you look at some individual stock options, you will see BSE and HAL being the most active. HAL 5100 August call, open interest up nearly 4.89 lakh contracts. The stock hovering just below the 5100 mark at 50.58. It's up 11.2 in the futures. BSE 3300 August put is another where we're seeing the premium spike by nearly 16 rupees to 45.25. There's an open interest build of 3 lakh contracts coming in today. We're just 1 week away from the monthly expiry, and you're going to see some kind of build up happening to the September series, because in the end of September you will have the BSE entering the Nifty 50. So that's build up will shortly be coming in. If you look at the margin trade book, BSE is the second most financed stock in that book after HDFC Bank. So a lot of action coming into BSE there. So Nifty spot finally down a third of a percent, premium of nearly 98.25 to close.
All right, Kunal, give us a sense how you look at the day of trade gone by, and what levels to look out for tomorrow's expiry day, and what should we have our eyes out on?
See, I think it's going to be again a weekly expiry. The next week I think is going to be very crucial in that sense, because of the monthly expiry, because it's not just a usual or a normal monthly expiry. It's going to be the first monthly expiry with this new closing system. So the markets would probably try to wait out for this major event shaping up. In terms of the market mood tomorrow, I would sense that we could continue to just about drift onto a consolidation for the index. I think there are some slight positive signs across few of the other asset classes like gold, silver, and then retracements into dollar index, etc. That should try and play positive for our markets going forward. So my expectation is that we may just about swing around this 24,300 mark, plus minus few half a percentage points for the index. But broadly, we should hold on to the index in terms of the short-term support level and see a bounce back going forward.
Thanks, Kunal, for joining us and giving us the closing calls there.